This Doctor Who stuff is wild. Got some new ratings numbers to go over, but we're going to start right here because this is still relevant. Your terms are acceptable. Ncuti Gatwa asking haters to touch some grass backfires as his Doctor Who role upsets vocal fan base. So around Christmas time is when his Doctor Who era kicked off. And there was 4 million something people that watched it. And when you go from Christmas to, I don't know, last week is when the new episodes aired, I think on Disney Plus and BBC. The ratings dropped by half. So half of the people took his advice and went and touched grass. They went outside. They even blamed the low ratings on weather. Not kidding. It was too nice outside, so nobody watched it. You also had the villain, who I don't even really want to get into too much, but the villain came out and said, "Oh, that's okay. You can leave. For every one of you that leaves, 3 to 4 new people will come in and replace you." Well, that didn't happen. In fact, that's never worked out like that. And now we have new episodes out, and once again, the viewership plummets. So they were at 2.4 million last week. Now they've dropped down to 2 million. So another 400,000 people said, F this, I'm out. And will they come back? I don't know. This show is a disaster. Russell T. Davies, who I guess used to be a really good showrunner for this series, has gone completely mental. He's constantly virtue signaling. He's dedicated all of the show's themes to virtue signaling. There's no story here. It's nothing but woke nonsense after, there's a way to do this and make it work. And obviously the people that are attached to this show don't know what they're doing. If you want to see how to make social commentary work, go watch X-Men 97, which does it pretty damn well. This show is a great example of people that are talentless trying to tell social commentary shit, and they just don't know what they're doing, like most of the people that try to do this, because it's all they think about, and they don't think about story first, so they don't tell a good story. They end up just lecturing the entire time. And when you do that, you lose your audience. Now, it's a bit different with Doctor Who, because they were already losing their audience. They were already losing their audience years before this new season started. This new season, look at this. This guy, this is a war dude, and he's, of course, got a priest's collar on. So we got to go after Christians and Catholics. Of course we do. So I think this is hilarious. Another 400,000 gone. And I wonder, so eventually we will reach a point where people will just keep watching. I mean, there's a reason The Simpsons are still on, which the only reason that I can think of that show's still on is people just leave their TV on, because The Simpsons hasn't been funny in a long time, just like Doctor Who hasn't been good in a long time. But they continue to bleed. They continue to bleed and lose people. So, Doctor Who TV reports the third episode, Boom, saw the program only bring 2.04 million viewers in the United Kingdom when it aired May 18th. The episode broke the previous most least viewed episode set by the series' second episode, The Devil's Cord, which brought in just 2.4 million viewers. The premiere episode, Space Babies, which debuted the same day as The Devil's Cord, also brought in 2.6. It held the record briefly before The Devil's Cord. Before that, Battlefield Part 1 back in 1989 held the record with 3.10 million viewers. This decline in viewership comes in the wake of Ncuti Gatwa, who plays the 15th Doctor, telling potential viewers to not watch the show. They did not like his casting. I'm not a Doctor Who fan, so I don't want to speak for all of them, but I want to say I don't think that they would care about a black doctor. I don't think most of them would. As long as the show is good and he's a good doctor and he follows, the lore of the Doctor and things that usually are important to the character, I don't think anybody would have really cared that much. What's bothering people is just the overt social commentary, woke storylines. People are kind of tired of that. Now, if it's really good and tells a good story, people will roll with it a lot better. But when you do it like this, it never works out. And then they just get mad that you don't watch it, and they weaponize media, and it turns off more and more fans, and you end up in a situation like this. But, yeah, like I said, I don't want to speak for all the Doctor Who people, but I don't think that they really would have cared that much if the show was better. That's just my opinion, but in most cases, that's usually the case. Look at House of the Dragon. They made some changes there, and the guy that I'm forgetting his name, but he the sea snake guy, he's really good in the role, and the show is so good. All of the criticism of that, mostly. I mean, there's still some people that are purists and want it to be exactly how it is, and I get it. But for the most part, people were fine with it and rolled with it because the performance of the guy was really good and the show was really good. And that's not the case here. And, of course, it's backfiring in their face, and it's going to continue to happen. So keep losing money. This show is very expensive now, I guess. Disney's pumping all kinds of money into it. Disney's no stranger to losing money, so that's all the norm for them. They're all about losing money when it comes to pushing agendas. So anyway, interesting stuff to me. I'm curious to what your thoughts are on it, though, so let me know in the comments. If you're a Doctor Who fan, do you agree with what I said? Do you disagree? I'm interested in hearing and reading what you guys have to say about that. That's what I think. I think if the show was good and it didn't have all this woke shit in it and it got back to basics and was a good Doctor Who story, I think people would be okay with Ncuti Gatwa. But it's the way it's being handled and the show itself, it's just turning people off. It's more of the same that we've had for the past few years of people attacking fans and putting out poor projects. So let me know what your thoughts are. Also, if you would please like, definitely helps. Also, share the video. That really helps. Also, if you would, please subscribe and hit that notification bell, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free, but if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content. You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.